Welcome to Chasing Impact, Not Sales, where heart meets hustle, strategy meets service, and selling feels good again. I'm your host, Mandy Minatello. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the Chasing Impact, Not Sales podcast. I am Mandy Minatello, and I am pleased to say hello to 2026. I apologize if you have been missing me. I took a little break from podcasting in December. If you have been a regular listener, you know I have a daughter who is a freshman in college. It was her first Christmas break to come home. And I decided that I was going to make the executive decision to put everything that was non-essential aside and be fully present. That is also part of my vision for 2026 is to strive to be fully present where my feet are at. And so what that means is when I am recording a podcast, I am here with you and nothing else. When I'm working, I am 100% available for my client. And when I am home, I am 100% available for my family. And my wish is that you would find some of that routine as well. Notice I did not use the word balance because without going off on a complete tangent, I don't really believe in work-life balance. There is no balance because I believe you're 100% where you're 100%. And your family deserves that as much as your work deserves that, as much as your clients deserve that, as much as your passion projects deserve that. So be where you are 100% and own that. Soapbox ended. Anyway, so all that to be said, welcome back to the podcast. And I thought, how am I going to kick off the year? And you know what? I'm going to kick off where all of you are kicking off as well, likely. And let's start at the beginning, right? So everybody ends the year, business owners end the year by putting together their business plan for the following year, developing maybe it's a word of the year, an intention of the year, a focus, certainly goals, right? And you might even have a vision board for yourself, your business, your goals, whatever. And I wholeheartedly support that. And I invite you to vocalize, share. If you've made a vision board, you've written out your goals, you've set these things, then share it with your stakeholders. And by stakeholders, I mean your family, your friends, your coworkers, the people that are on your team, depending on where you're at in your organization. Share it. Vision and goal setting opportunities are not things to hold to your chest. If it is big enough and important enough to be a goal and a vision, then you owe it to yourself to hold yourself accountable. And there's no better way to be held accountable than to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do this year. And there's some big stuff on there. And there's something about putting it out there, sharing it, writing it down, and then shouting it from the rooftops that will, there's science behind it we won't get into, but it really will make you work harder, better, faster, more efficiently towards that goal, the more that it is known. Okay? So do that. But don't stop there, right? Here's where I'm going to put on my mentor hat. If you have set goals and you leave it at that, maybe it's a vision board, maybe it's a goal list or whatever, and you're going to look at it and you're going to think about it, you're going to meditate on it, you're going to share it, you're going to hold yourself accountable, you're going to do all the things. It doesn't mean as much as then becoming who you need to be and putting into place the habits you need to put in to habit that it will take to achieve those goals. And in the world of sales, that means metrics tracking. That means keeping track of the data. That means revisiting the data. That means updating the data. That means aligning, backwards mapping your goal back to your daily metrics, KPIs, right? If you have always tracked your KPIs, you've always kept track of metrics, you feel good about that, you revisit monthly, quarterly, annually, and you tweak and move and all of that, then awesome. That's where you want to be, right? As my parents would say, give yourself a pat on the back, right? But I know that that is not the case for a lot of people. I know that a lot of people, you're either new to KPIs, you're maybe a little bit intimidated by KPIs, or you kind of don't really know what you should be tracking. And then once you do, you don't know what to do with it. And that's what we're going to talk about today is how to set up your year to be your best year yet so that 2027 will be your best year yet, and 2028 and 2029. Because once you establish this, then it's easy to build on. And so today will be, if you're brand new to metrics, today is your baseline and it only gets better because what is measured can be built upon. And so if you're not measuring anything, where are we? Okay, so here we go. And just to know, I'm going to attach in the show notes my cheat sheet. So everything that we're going to talk about here is in the cheat sheet. And so, you'll be able to track it. But here's the thing, like core KPIs, core metrics are pretty easy to track when you know the what and the why behind it. And then we're going to talk about what you do with that. So in sales, you get lost in the quest of scaling your business and just sell, 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 sell. And what's the way to get to your goal is to sell more. And so if you're taking a look at your goal and you set your goal just based on, I'd really like to have whatever kind of year this year, and you've just pulled a number out of the air, and then you're not measuring any data to get you there at the end of the quarter or the year, what is it? It's a hope and a prayer that you made it? Like, no. Like when you're tracking your data, you can see with the trends where you're going, where you need to make some modifications along the way. And if you're going to get there is not a hope and a prayer. It's so we're going to get there because we're going to do this and this and this. And so when people ask, like, how do I feel about KPIs and data measurement and metrics tracking? Like, honestly, okay, I am not a numbers person, but I love me some data and metrics. Why? Because I love sleeping. And how does that work? That is when you have metrics that you're measuring and you do the daily habits that are necessary to reach those metrics. And you put your head down on that pillow at night, you can sleep well. Because you know you did what you needed to do today to get to that goal by the end of 2026. 2026, December of 2026 seems really, really far away right now, but it's going to be here in a minute. And if you're doing the daily do and you're measuring the metrics, then you know what you did today is going to affect that goal, and you're going to be excited about hitting that. So, okay, Mandy, what are you going to measure? Well, I'm going to talk to you about the minimums, right? If you've never tracked anything, then I'm going to give you where to start. Okay. These are the essential sales KPIs that every business owner should monitor. So if you're a sales professional yourself and you are not being held to KPIs, you need to start with this. Just measure them for yourself if you need to. If you are the owner, founder, you've always been the solopreneur, and now you're bringing on a sales person or team, this is where you start. Okay. If you already have KPIs in place, check them against this. See what you find. Okay. So first is leads in, volume, right? How many potential customers are coming into your orbit, coming into your ecosystem weekly or monthly? And you're going to keep track of these in terms of how many calls are you having for discovery, how many inbound DMs are coming, referrals from people signing up for your email or newsletter, like all the people that are coming to you. Now, what I did not say is how many people are on your social media like contacts list, because not every friend or contact you have is a potential lead. You got to determine the difference between contact and lead. And lead is somewhere on the qualified scale, which we're going to talk about next. So if you have someone who is completely like your aunt is not a qualified lead likely, although she is your friend on Facebook and your connection on LinkedIn or whatever, right? So you need to define lead for yourself and then keep track. How many potential customers are you having contact with? Number two that you are going to measure is qualified leads. Okay. They are potential customers, but they're not all potential customers to buy like today. So of your leads, how many are qualified? They're the right fit and they're ready to actually engage in a sales conversation. And in my cheat sheet, I give you some qualifying factors, right? I actually give you 4 things to look at, but you're going to determine like, so if you have 100 leads coming into your ecosystem every week, how many are ready to buy right now? Okay. Then you're going to get into your personal metrics. Of the clients who take a call with you, how many become clients? So how many actually purchase your product or service? And the formula for that is like the number of clients divided by the number of calls. So you want to get this percentage rate to rise. If you're finding that you're getting on call with 10 people and 1 is buying, then there's some work to be done there. But if you're not even sure because you're not even tracking, then you can't do the work to get there. Talk about a wing and a prayer. Okay. So like keep track. If you're closing 9 out of 10, it's a whole different issue because now you get an opportunity to look at the, maybe you're not charging enough. Maybe you're making yourself too available. Maybe like whatever, like it's a great problem to have, but you wouldn't know it if you're not keeping track. So you're going to measure that, your discovery to close rate. Sales cycle length. How long does it take from first contact to close? Depending on your product or service, things are going to have a longer or shorter sales cycle. And that is all part of the product. But there is an opportunity there for you to take a look at, do I need to shorten this term? Are they all about the same? When you keep track of that, you can also make predictions, better estimations of how many sales you're going to make when. Because you can talk about, okay, here's the date of the first touch point. Here's the date that they signed. And you start to see patterns that it takes about the same amount of time, sale after sale after sale. Okay, awesome. Then if I have 5 calls this week and it takes an average of 60 days to close a sale, I can make predictions for 2 months from now. This is how you know if you're going to hit those goals by the end of the year. Okay. So keeping track. The key is keeping track. And then we do the tweaks, right? Just keep track. Average deal size. What is the average value of your deals that you're closing? Some people have different products that they're selling. Some people it's only one. If it's only one product that you're selling, then this is a real easy one, right? Because you take your total revenue divided by the number of deals and they're all the same. They're all the same. But if you have different products that you offer or different packages that you have out there, then this is going to tell you what your average deal size is. Again, better at making predictions. better for making predictions. This one is eye-opening to a lot of people, especially if you spend money on ads. Lead source conversion rate. If you're spending money on ads and you have a organic system of some sort, you have a great referral system, you do influencer program, something, affiliate, take a look, platform by platform, track where the leads come from and which one is leading to the most revenue. I actually was talking to someone yesterday whose client was paying $30,000 a month in Meta ads and had hired for 4,000 a month a marketing company to work on LinkedIn platform. And I think she said 75% of his sales were coming from the LinkedIn platform where he was spending 4,000 a month, I believe, as opposed to the 30,000 from ads. If they weren't tracking that, they wouldn't know that. Think of how much money is continually being shoveled into places that aren't converting for you. Now, I am not saying that across the board, those are the numbers. I'm saying for him and his audience and what he has going on, those are his numbers. And knowing that, he can adjust his spending and that profit margin is going to change because he's tracking it. And he can prioritize money where the people are prioritizing him. Keep track. And then the last thing is the follow-up effectiveness. How many deals close after how many follow-ups from an initial call? And this is a skill. Okay. This is how many is a one conversation close versus a one conversation with one follow-up versus a series of follow-ups. It just helps you, again, to make better predictions of how long the sales process is going to take. Okay, how long the sales cycle is going to be. So what was that? 7 pieces of data that you're going to collect and you're going to keep track. And then what are next steps? You're going to implement these into your regular reporting and you're going to review weekly at first, monthly, if that, works, depending on the size of your organization. You're going to identify trends. You're going to determine if the numbers that you're working with will get you to your goals or if there needs to be areas of improvement. There's always areas of improvement, but if you set goals based on pulling a number out of the air and then you track these for a month even, and you see oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you, about as often I see people who are like, oh my gosh, these are our numbers. I shot way too low on my goal. I see that as often as I see people who are like, oh shoot, there's no way I'm going to get to my goal. Either way, information is good because you can tweak. You can say, okay, my goal was a little bit lofty and there's no way with the organization we have in place that I'm going to get there. And you can make determinations if you need to hire more people, change more things, change your process, change your price point, things like that. Or you're going to say, oh my gosh, my goals are off based on this activity. Or you can say it's a people problem and they need, you need to put into place some training so that it can be standardized. If you have a sales team and you see that their numbers are not the same, you've got a problem with your organization and you need some training so that you can have the same experience from rep to rep. Okay, you're going to adjust strategies. But when you adjust the strategies based on numbers, you come from a place of safety in the knowledge and you can maximize your revenue and growth potential. It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So start with your goals, sure. But measure your data against your goals so that you can know, you can game plan and you can absolutely crush it. And then when you get to the end of 2026 and you're making your business plan and setting your goals for 2027, you can know that by doing this, you got there in 2026. So by implementing this, and this, we're going to get there in 2027. So that you can honestly and wholeheartedly say 2026 was the best year yet. 2027 will be the better year. 2028, 29, whatever, because the data is your baseline. It's your starting point. It's not good or bad. They don't lie. And then you build on it. The organizations that set themselves up for failure are the ones who set goals based on nothing, based on someone else's business, maybe based on what sounds good or vanity numbers that they want to share on social media, or just, wholeheartedly hoping. But the businesses that are successful are the ones that know where their growth is going to come from, because they know where the holes are. And those holes have been identified through data. Measurement, data tracking. So, as I said, I will attach in the show notes my sales metrics cheat sheet, which kind of just goes over what I just told you. But I've said it before. This podcast is my gift to the industry. A rising tide raises all ships. And I want 2026 to be the best year possible for all of us. So take a look at the cheat sheet. If you are brand new to KPIs and you're intimidated, reach out. I will help you. If you take a look and you really want to strategize some success support for the year, reach out. I have some space for some consulting, especially at the beginning of this year. So I would love to help you help your business and set you up for success to have the best year, because the best is yet to come. Let's go. Thanks for listening to Chasing Impact, Not Sales. If this episode sparked something, share it, subscribe, and remember, real sales come from real service. Keep chasing impact.